Hey hostel managers, one of the questions that we frequently see in our forums and on our Facebook group has to do with Tripadvisor Business Advantage listings. Small to medium-sized hostels in particular really want to know if this enhanced listing service offered by Tripadvisor is worth the cost. Want to know if it's worth it for your hostel? In this video we're going to dive into the numbers and do some real-world analysis using my hostel as the guinea pig. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Darren Overby. In addition to my work with hostelmanagement.com, I have owned and operated a small hostel in San Francisco for 27 years called Pacific Tradewinds. We have just started the Hostel Management YouTube channel, so please send us lots of encouragement if you want to see more video content about hostels. If you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified when we upload new videos. Let's get started. I'm going to take you through a walkthrough of my analysis of the Business Advantage listing. We actually purchased Advantage listing last year in June 1st of 2018, and it just expired in May 31st of 2019. And we did that kind of as a test to see, is it actually worth it? We're in a little bit different situation in that my hostel does not bookable on booking.com and Hostel World and other OTAs that are actually partnered with Tripadvisor. So the metrics change a little bit in that case. But I thought it might be useful for a lot of hostel owners to actually see, how it worked for us, and you can extrapolate that and determine whether or not it's going to work for your hostel. So the cost of the listing, we actually got it for $130. So first of all, it's probably important to talk about what is the Business Advantage listing service. Tripadvisor has a lot of different products, and it can be actually confusing for a lot of hostel owners as to what they're offering and what's best for their hostel. I'm not going to go into the details of the other services that they have, but I'm just going to show them briefly for comparison with the Business Advantage. So in order to see a breakdown of each of these services, what you'll want to do is go to your profile menu and then select My Business. It'll take you to this page here, and then you'll click on your property. Of course, if you have multiple properties with your profile, then you'll see multiple properties. We just have one. And then at this top menu it says Drive Bookings. So they basically have 4 different products. Sponsored placements, which I believe is basically pay to achieve higher ranking in sort. We don't actually do sponsored placements on Tripadvisor, and I think that they're fairly expensive, but obviously your Tripadvisor representative would be happy to tell you about the pricing of that. Then you have Business Advantage and all of the benefits of that, and then you have Instant Booking and Trip Connect. So first let's look at Instant Booking. So Instant Booking is really just like any other OTA. There's a commission rate of either 12% or 15%, depending upon how often you want to show at the top of the search on your page. So keep in mind that on Tripadvisor, you're competing with the OTAs to book your own hostel. So in this case, if you were listed here in Instant Book, I believe at 15% you'll appear 25% of the time. Don't quote me on that. But we have found that it doesn't even work for my hostel, because my hostel, we only are direct bookable. We don't work with booking.com and we don't work with Hostel World. And it seems that the algorithm on Tripadvisor is such that it has to show an OTA partner once, twice, 3 times, and then the 25% is the 4th time. But because we never show any of those other OTA partners, Instant Book never shows up as an option for us. So that's the Instant Book product. The second product in terms of this area is Trip Connect, cost per click. And in this area, you can actually specify how much you want to pay per click over to your booking page. Now it's important to realize that Tripadvisor only does this with partners such as MyAllocator, Cloudbeds. They have the Book Now widget. So while we would love for Tripadvisor to actually redirect people over to Hostel Snap and our direct booking page, that doesn't seem to be an option with them. If we click over to the original, the official site, I'm actually in Canada right now, so all the prices are in Canadian dollars. But if I click over to it, it goes essentially to the MyAllocator Book Now widget, which we have heavily stylized with CSS to try and make it look, reasonable here. But I think you would agree we would prefer to just go to Hostel Snap and the direct booking engine that we already have. So, but what we do is we pay about 11 cents on mobile, about 23 cents on desktop, and you can see that here this is all of the payments that we've paid during the last year, and it was a total of about $1,440 in total payments. So I figured out it was about 11% is what we're paying for bookings on the pay-per-click service, and keeping in mind that obviously not everyone who comes over to our website makes a booking, and this would be really, really difficult to compete with if we were actually, say, in the same circumstance as 11th Avenue Hostel, because sites like Booking.com, Expedia, Agoda, they don't really care if they book your hostel. They just want the visitor over to their website. And if they wind up booking another property on their site, they still make back the amount that it costs them to get the click over to their website. So it really only makes sense for us because we can bid a very low amount because we actually are the only one there that's available to be booked. But even then, at that price, it's 11% for us to receive bookings by that method. So, but anyway, this video was about the business advantage, and that doesn't have anything to do with this area right here. All that is the ability to add your phone number, your website, and your email address here, and it will also add a link to your website here, and also a special offer where you can include something like a promo code or something. So you can see that over on 11th Avenue Hostel. These are great people who run this hostel. I met them in the American Hostel Conference in January. They have the business advantage listing, so you can see their phone number, their website, and their email address. So the big question that I had after having done this for a year is, was it beneficial for my hostel? So I had to go over to Hostel Snap and look at our marketing source reports. So those of you who are not familiar with Hostel Snap and the marketing source reports, they're on the reports tab here, and you go to marketing sources report, and then you can either enter in any of these, quick dates, or you can enter in custom dates. And since my campaign with Business Advantage went from June 1st to May 31st of 2019, those were the dates that I was supposed to have put in. I actually put in May 31st to May 31st, but that's fine. And then I selected, in my case, bed nights, because I didn't really care about bookings, the number of bookings, didn't really care about the number of guests. I really wanted to know how much money did we make from each of the bookings that we received from Tripadvisor Marketing Source. So let's go over to those now. So here's the marketing source report for my hostel from May 31st, 2018 to May 31st, 2019. We received 320 bed nights from all of the Tripadvisor sites. And that's about $12,500 of income at $40 per night, give or take. I didn't actually calculate for the same period of time what our average daily rate was, but I would say that, all seasons, it's probably around $40. So let's compare that to the same report from May 31st, 2017. So here's the same report for 2017 to 2018. And during that period, when we didn't have Business Advantage, we only got 177 bed nights. So it definitely went up as a result of having the Business Advantage. But I think it's important to actually do a little bit more investigation on this report from 2018 to 2019. So let's go back to that. So what I've done on my marketing source report is I've excluded those sites where I actually had to pay a commission. So in this case, this was the pay per click that I was talking about earlier, and so is this. They changed the methodology mid-year of how it actually gets tracked. But I had to pay like 11% for these bookings. And there's no indication that the Business Advantage listing actually, improved the clickability in this area, because again, the user is drawn to that one section on the listing of View Deal. So I excluded those, and I also excluded this one, which was a meta search that we were trying, where they actually try to book our property on Tripadvisor and Travelocity and I think even Google. And we had to pay a commission of about 12% for this one. But all of these other ones were the result of our Business Advantage listing. So we had 146 bed nights. So that really starts to change things. So if I come back up and do my calculation here, 146 times 40 is only about $5,840 that we earned as a result of Business Advantage. Now, if I do the calculation, take out what they actually cost, it was $1,560 to pay for the Business Advantage, divided by 5,840. That means that the cost of those bookings for 1 year was 26%, which is a huge amount. So that says that it's not worth it, but it gets worse. So another analysis I did here is I excluded the months when we would have normally been full anyway. So in San Francisco, my hostel is full from about May to October 1st every year. And so it doesn't matter if I was listed on Tripadvisor and had their Business Advantage at that time or not, I would have been full from other sources. So when I actually do the report for only October 1st through May 31st, which is the dates when I actually really need help in filling my hostel, I only received 16 bed nights during that period of time. So then it becomes quite dismal. So if I come over here and I say 16 times 40, that's 640, but now it's a loss because I actually had to pay $1,560 for the Business Advantage listing. So I have to say one thing that I will miss about the Business Advantage listing was their Analytic Suite. And that enables me to actually see like how our reviews are doing in comparison to our competitors. And unfortunately, I can't show that to you because our Business Advantage has expired. But it will tell you basically, how many reviews you got during any particular given month compared to your competitors on Tripadvisor. And it was really more for us just kind of a goal. We were always trying to get more reviews than our competitors. And without the Business Analytics Suite, the Business Advantage Analytics Suite, we're kind of doing that in the blind. So that has some value. It probably has several $100s a year worth of value for us. But still, as you saw, $1,500, $1,560, and we only made $640 worth of new business from it. It becomes just